everybody, and welcome to Storytime at the Tennessee State Museum with Miss Morgan. I am so happy to see you guys today. And you might notice, doesn't look like there's a book here. Well, I have a surprise for you guys. But before we get started, let's check our schedule. Let's go sing our welcome song. Come on. Are you guys ready to sing our good morning song? So before we get started, let's practice and warm up those talking hands. So remember, our signs are happy and good morning. So let's practice one more time. So happy, take your hands like you're fanning yourself, say happy. And good morning, take the fingers to your chin and say good morning. Great job. You guys are doing such a wonderful job. Good job. All right. So remember, we're going to sing it twice. So you ready? Good morning to you, and how do you do? I'm happy to see you. Good morning to you. Oh, great job. Ready again? Say, good morning to you, and how do you do? I'm happy to see you. Good morning to you. Oh, great job. Good, 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 good. Are you guys ready? It's now time for story time. Let's go. Great job, you guys. Big pat on the back. Big round of applause. You guys are doing so well with that song. So today I have a little surprise for you. We're going to travel right across the street to Bicentennial Mall, and Mr. Jed, or I should say Park Ranger Jed, is going to read our story today, and it's all about the bees. So if you guys are ready, let's go.
Hi there everyone, Ranger Jed here from Bicentennial Capital Mall State Park, and today I'm going to be reading you this story, Please Please the Bees by Gerald Kelly. It's about some of our local pollinators that live here in the state of Tennessee. Pollinators are really important to our ecosystem here in Tennessee. They help with the growth of food, they help with the growth of our beautiful trees that we see throughout our state parks, and they help with the growth of things like these flowers that you see behind me. And flowers serve as a yummy food source for our local pollinators. Here in our butterfly garden at Bicentennial Capital Mall State Park, we help our local pollinators by leaving these flowers out for them to feed on. Now today, we'll get started with our book about local pollinators and what we can do to help protect them and respect them in our ecosystem. Please Please the Bees by Gerald Kelly. Benedict was a creature of habit. He liked to do the same thing every day. Every morning, he woke up at the same time. Every morning, he stretched, he scratched, he yawned a great yawn. Every morning, the bees delivered 3 jars full of honey. Benedict ate the same breakfast he'd eaten since he was just a fuzzy cub: toast with honey and tea with extra honey. Next came his daily routine, practicing, perfecting his honey cake recipe, knitting, and running errands. At night, he'd read, then have one last cup of honey tea before bed. Life was sweet. Until one morning things weren't the same. In fact, something terribly unsame had happened. There was no more honey. The bees had gone on strike. Benedict's breakfast wasn't the same without honey. Without his honey tea, he couldn't knit. Practice was dreadful. He didn't even bother with his errands. Benedict became deeply discouraged. Just then, he heard someone say, "Hey you, in the fur coat." It was a very small bee with a remarkably loud voice. "We need to talk," said the bee. "Talk, humph," grumbled Benedict. "I let you live in my yard. All I ask is for a few jars of honey. You should be grateful, not go on strike." "A few jars," said the bees. "Buddy, we deliver 3 jars of honey to you every day, every month, every year. Do the math, Einstein." "The hive is a wreck," the bee continued. "It's all we can do to keep the walls from falling in. The roof leaks, wind blows through the cracks, the last 3 queens up and quit on us because of the lousy working conditions. The bees showed Benedict the garden. Look, the bees said, weeds everywhere. We have to fly miles away just to find enough flowers to make our honey. So we voted to strike. You're taking us for granted, the bee declared. You want honey, things need to change. It's up to you, bear. And with that, the very small bee flew off. The thought of losing his honey sent a chill down Benedict's spine. He had a lot to think about. Maybe I've been selfish, Benedict said to himself. I never thought about what bees need, but how am I going to make this right? So he did some research. He did a little shopping, and he did a lot of work. Benedict even learned how to harvest honey. I suppose it's a bit rude to expect them to do all of it themselves, he thought. Finally, he was ready to show the bees all the work he'd done. What would they think? He held his breath as he waited. Then he heard the remarkably loud voice of the very small bee. Drop the sign, girls. Time to get back to work. These days, Benedict is still a creature of habit. He still has his daily routine, but he doesn't take the honey for granted anymore. He knows life is sweet, but now it's even sweeter. Thanks for letting me read to you guys today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope that you'll come visit me at Bicentennial Capitol Mall State Park very soon.
Great job, guys. Wasn't that a wonderful story? Let's give Park Ranger Jed another big round of applause. Ready? He did such a wonderful job. I absolutely love that story. It's one of my favorites. And the reason we picked it is yesterday on May 20th, it was actually World Bee Day. And we wanted to celebrate bees here at the Tennessee State Museum because you guys, did you know this? One of our state insects is the bee. And bees are such a wonderful insect to have. They have such a big impact on our environment. They are the pollinators. They're the ones who help our things grow. And it's not just the flowers like on my dress. It's those fruits and vegetables that we eat too. So bees are very, very important. And so what's really cool is over at Bi Mall, that's Bicentennial Mall, they're actually putting in some hives. So they'll have hives around the park so that honeybees will be attracted and they'll have lots of pollinators over at Bicentennial Mall. So next time you're there, you can ask a ranger at the station and see if they can point them out to you. And maybe you can go check out and see if you can see those bees working. They're pretty hard workers, you know. So what we're gonna do today is before we get to our activity, let's check our schedule. So we've done our welcome song and we've done our story time. So now it's time for our activity. So you saw it a little bit earlier, but we are making a bee finger puppet. So I just think these are really fun. So you can kind of, make it fly like this. And all you need, guys, is 2 paper plates, a piece of white paper, markers, crayons, and then I use pipe cleaners for the antennas, but you can use paper too. It's whatever you have. And if you don't have paper plates, you can use construction paper. You can pretty much use whatever you want to make your bee. You just need a big circle for the belly, a small circle for the head, and then the wings on each side. And if you can do it yourself, make sure you put your 2 holes for your fingers, kind of measure your hand. But if you need help, don't forget, you can always ask your adult, or maybe you have a bigger sibling, and they can help you cut off the holes. But I think this is a really fun project, and you can just buzz your bee around your house. And also in honor of World Bee Day, maybe you could ask your adult if you could try some honey. So a lot of our farmers markets, especially here in Nashville, I know, have started to open back up. So you could maybe try some local honey, or you could maybe just go to the grocery store and get some honey. I like to put honey in my tea, but one of my favorite snacks is I get a piece of bread and I put some peanut butter on there and then I put some honey on top. So good. It's my favorite. So, try that. Maybe you like sunflower butter. You can put honey on that. Or maybe you like Nutella and honey. Just have fun with it. And enjoy these bees because, man, are they the best. They're the bee's knees. That's what we should say. They're the bee's knees. So let's check our schedule. we've done our activity, so now it's time for our artifact. So this week we have 2 artifacts. So our first one is right here. It's a honey pot. So a lot of times honey comes in jars nowadays, but before that, if you had hives at your house or you could collect your own honey, you could put them in little jugs like this, and that kept it safe so that you could eat it over a period of time. So it just kind of keeps your honey nice and safe that you can eat it. So our other artifact is right here. If you look at it, look at this mosaic. Isn't it cool? It's huge. It actually takes up one of the walls at our old location at the Tennessee State Museum. And if you look at it, you'll see it has a bunch of different state symbols. So very bottom corner, you'll see the honeybee. So if you look again right here, we've zoomed in for you so you can see it a little bit better. But I really like this mosaic. I think it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite things. And so that is it, my friends. We have done our artifact. We have read our story. We have made our art. And that is all for us to do today. So I hope you guys have a beautiful Friday. And you guys are the bee's knees. And I will see you next time at Storytime with Miss Morgan. Bye, everybody.